Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, Hashem Kakutash, double honors unto the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone. Salutation to you, Akiam, pushing this word in sincerity and truth. This is your brother, Yassad, back at you with another lesson. Willing it edifying to the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. And I just decided to fire up a little video because quite of lately I've been noticing a lot of deleting over real simple matters, right? Over a real simple argument over basically nothing. Leading individuals in the stare putting another to death. So I just wanna fire it up. Something on that through the spirit, because hey, just imagine over this simple thing, a man would bring the urge upon himself to delete our next man. So just imagine when the food runs really low. It would be nothing to delete a whole household for a can of beans. And hey, this is to show you that the prophecies it daily it speaks for itself, because the scripture says that iniquity gonna abound, right? But I'll bring a little one or two precepts. This ain't gonna be no long video, but this is a clip basically from Facebook, but I'll get the article from Guardian, because I was actually even reading one that was speaking on a man delete a man over a lighter. They had an argument over a lighter, and the next guy delete him over the lighter, for the lighter, or whatever is the case. Then it had a next one for a little small money, was about $20. A man, I think it was two individuals was there, and like a passerby, see them there, there's normally beg and whatnot, and beggars there's normally beg, and one end up happened to get a 20, and well, they probably is accomplice, is probably friends and whatnot, and like he was asking him, hey, you had to split that with me, you had to give me something out of that, and like the next guy refused. So like they had an argument and whatnot, and hey, the one that got the money, I think it was end up deleting him for that little petty scrums. So if these situations could happen, now, hey, just imagine when shit hit the fan, how it's gonna be. Just imagine when shit hits the fan, how it's gonna turn out. It's really not gonna be easy. Alright, let me get the article on this one. A lot of ads. Right. Port of Spain man killed, deleted on promenade during row over weed, marijuana. An alleged argument over marijuana turned deadly for a Port of Spain man yesterday morning, after he was stabbed multiple times and left to die on Brian Lara Promenade. Police identified the victim as Brad Guerrero of Oxford Street, Port of Spain. He later, succumbed at the Port of Spain General Hospital while undergoing emergency treatment. Officers said Guerrero and the suspect were embroiled in an argument Around 2:15 on November the 12th, when the suspect reportedly pulled out a knife and stabbed Guerra several times in the chest before running off. Yeah, before running off. So this it's to show you that the time that we actually in, right? And hey, the vibration, a man deleting another man, it's gonna be a real, it's gonna be easy, it's gonna be nothing, right? Especially when the Lord is about to turn it up in this place. War in the place, famines in the place, pestilence. Where a man is uneasy, a man not able to get he daily cigarette in the morning. Because you even see it's all spirits and a vibration. You would see a lot of them drinkers, smokers, when they get the drugs, they portray a different way. They operate a different way. It's always a real hasty spirit comes upon them when they haven't gotten, they didn't get the drugs to as those the drugs that would make them perform and keep them cool and keep them calm, you know. But we know that is all just a a trick of the mind used by the rulers of the world. Because just imagine you would have cigarette, these things implementing and showing you, well, hey, this is real harmful, it cancerous, it causing this, it causing that to happen to the body, but yet they have it up on the shelves. Look, for instance, the pharmacia, helpful but harmful, you know, drugs with many side effects and all these different things, and hey, they have it out there. Well, I'm gonna get here, Matthew 24:12. It's saying, because iniquity shall abound. Because hey, you're seeing, as time go by, you're literally seeing more murders, more raping, you know, more suicides, you know, and the list goes on. So, and it's all a vibration in the air, because hey, the scriptures say when the wicked really people mourn. Also say so the judge of the people or the king of the people is so gonna be the officers, and the people gonna be in that same state. So with the wicked in rulership, this whole place is gonna be in a mess, right? It's an iniquity, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax out cold. Yeah, and even that even pushes them more to, because the rich man in this kingdom, a lot of them, the elites, and the way the system designed, once you have money, that defense you're able to get anything, because the scripture even talks about that. Money answereth all things. Yeah. So no, Ecclesiastes 10:19, a feast is made for laughter and wine make it merry. But what? But money answereth all things, because I was just taking in a police officer that retired and whatnot, and a situation happened where his mom committed suicide, and he find they wasn't taking the investigation seriously and wasn't looking into it, and he mentioned that, hey, he wouldn't urge anybody to go in the police service and whatnot, but what he also mentioned is, inside there is a lot of shit does go down, and you could get away with anything. Money, once the money is right, you could even get away with murder. Plainly, just as that he said. Because we know there is a lot of corruption and whatnot that goes on, right? But again, I read that scripture, Ecclesiastes 10:19, because you see, money is a defense in this kingdom. The scripture even say, hey, let me get a gift. It does blind the wise. Um, you know, it has called men to subvert judgment and these things. Let me get that. I'll read back this Ecclesiastes 10:19. I'll be straying a little bit, but hey, it's all edification. A feast is made for laughter, and wine maketh merry, but money unsaid all things. Another one here, the gift. Sirach 20:19, 29. Presents and gift blind the eyes of the wise, and stop up his mouth that he cannot reprove. Hey, that is why you see, of today, you realize that it is easy for them to get what they want, because the Psalms 10 speaks on and says, Psalms 10, and 3, for the wicked boasts of his heart's desire, and what? Blessed the covetous. They would bless the covetous. So when they want to get what they want, you know, they want to execute a plan, they offer a little money and a little gifts. And one time they are allowed to change the mind of a person. To capture a person. Let's say, whom the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yeshua abhorreth. Right, so the scripture even talk about in these times, because they're seeing these things happening. It makes me, I had to bring out a scripture. Menstruous woman, and I bring forth monsters, and that is what you're seeing. What making them monsters is the characteristics, the attitude is the characteristics of a monster. To do something like that, you just have an argument, a disagreement with a person, and you reach the state that just pull a knife out and delete them. Something's wrong. That's why the scripture, this wisdom allows it to deal with many situations. The scripture says, anger rested in the bottom of a fool. A smooth answer turn away wrath, and all these different things. Sirach 5:8. There shall be confusion also in many places, and the fire shall be often sent out again, and the wild beasts shall change their places, and menstruous women shall bring forth monsters. And that don't mean you're literally looking like a monster, and you're deformed, and you're half man, half dragon, and all these fools, but the characteristics, and the person is into the liking of a monster. Because when you see a monster, what a monster would do, you would see a monster attack people, put them, delete them, scratch them up, bust them up, in the movies, you would see that. Right? But that's why this wisdom, as the scripture say, he that the Baruch 4:1. This is the book of the commandment of the Lord. Anybody that, forsake this, he gonna die, but them that keep it, they gonna live. Right? Yeah, because with this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, it gives you the understanding to be able to cope with different situations, as mentioned. It even has you ought not to meddle in others matters that to even concern you, because I think our brother did a video on it. Yeah, it was our brother that did a video on it concerning a Jake Hey, Eve again. Eve and a man fall out and the man for whatsoever reason and the man let go some good blows upon she. And like she call over she best friend, which is a guy, a Jake. And when he came over there now, started getting on and whatnot, and the Eve boyfriend who beat her up shot him and kill him. And two of them end up had to get rid of the body, but I was caught. Facing in how much ever years they get. But you think the scripture even talk about you ought not to meddle in a husband and wife situation. You're not supposed to intervene in these things because one moment they'll be fighting and whatnot and you input your voice now and you find well and then next minute they back up makeup and you become the topic. So you ought not to say nothing. You see a man and his wife, they having the argument and whatnot. Hey, wisdom. Leave me out of that. I have nothing to do with that too. All you're going and be hugging up and kissing and whatever probably tonight. So I ain't gonna voice my opinion on nothing. Sirach 11:10, my son, meddle not with many matters. For if thou meddle much, thou shalt not be innocent. And if thou follow after, thou shalt not obtain, neither shalt thou escape by fleeing. Yeah. Right. So hey, going back to what's the on topic. Concerning that. Because we know the time coming that food, farming is gonna come. As the scripture says, Zephaniah again, and they are crying from the gate. Zephaniah 1 or Zechariah 1, but no. But no. So like there's Zephaniah 1 and 10. And it shall come to pass in that day, said the Lord, that there shall be a noise of a cry from the fish gate, and a howling from the second, and a great crashing from the hills. That's just that crashing at the hills, a system crash, the storehouses starting to empty, all gone with the people, they wouldn't have no choice but to resort to invading their own neighbor for bread. Sedition among men. They ain't gonna have time to study well. What the government have to say because they're hungry, the children hungry. And in that time a lot of deleting gonna take place because if men could delete over a small argument when food comes. I'll get this precept here to close out. Second Ezra 15 and 18, for because of their pride the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Because that's gonna be a scary time. Because think about it, a lot of them who are accustomed with a pack of cigarette for the day. Some of them who take the drugs and whatnot, and if they're having it no more, these men gonna be real tripping. These men gonna be bugging out, on a high level. It say, man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. The scripture even said it, two friends gonna fight like enemies in that time. That's a show Joel telling ain't gonna have nothing because that was gonna happen to these. They that not gonna be covered by Yahweh Hashem. They're gonna be as a result onto deleting each other, even eating each other, eating the children, because of the lack of bread. So hopefully this lesson was edifying. All praises to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Double honors to the elders and the apostles at Great Millstone. Salutations until the next Shalom.